Like I said, I listened to a lot of talk yesterday, and the trade rumor mill is hot. So we'll start with Brandon Ingram. Lou, you're up first. A little bit of talk of perhaps him going to the Nuggets. And keep in mind, Michael Porter Jr. seems to be the common denominator in any of these Nuggets-related trades. Would you be in or out on this one?
You know what? I'll be in. I think this is a pretty good trade. Michael Porter Jr., he was the first person to say this is going to be their last hurrah trying to win a championship. So why not get that party started with getting you up out of there and let's start again? But no, all jokes aside, I really love this for Brandon Ingram. I think this would be a great opportunity for him to play alongside one of the more dominant and pass-heavy bigs in the league. I think he benefits from the way that the Denver Nuggets play. I think this will be a great fit for him. And this will be a fresh start for Michael Porter Jr. as well. For both of these guys, I think it's time for both of them to have an opportunity to try their hands at another team. And so I'm super in on this one for both guys.
Okay, we're in on that.
I like it. And I think the question with Porter early was his health and even the draft. The guy was supposed to be the number 1 pick for months leading up to draft, and his back and his issues kind of made him slide a little bit. But now he's shown that he's healthy and he's an X factor, and he's having a great start to this season. As far as Brandon Ingram, I think he's great for the Nuggets. I think it gives them that kind of ISO scoring option that can kind of take some of the load off Jokic. I think people would talk about, is Murray that guy? Has he hit a wall? Is he taking a step back? Well, now you bring in a scorer that's just as capable as Murray, as Brandon Ingram. How are you going to guard all three of these guys at once? Brandon Ingram will have to buy into playing around Jokic. He'll have to buy in not being the number 1 guy, which I think at this point of his career, he's mature enough, he's old enough to realize that that's what he's going to have to do. And that's for him to kind of turn this around, he's going to have to win. And I think this gives him a great chance to win, pairing him up with Jokic, Jamal Murray, keep guys like Aaron Gordon. They still need to beef up the bench a little bit, but I like this trade a lot for the Nuggets.
Is there someone who would walk into Denver and not understand that Jokic is number 1? Like, does that person exist?
No, he's number 1. It's just about fit. It's just about, can you play off him? Can the spacing work? Everything. Do you understand? Where he's best, where I'm best? How am I going to be a contributor playing with him? But no one goes to Denver and thinks they're going to be the number 1 man.
Some crazy person out there. All right, so the Jimmy Butler stuff it's ongoing, and we did talk a little bit about it when we were out in Vegas, and specifically a Jimmy for Bradley Beal. But we also know, Chandler, that Bradley Beal has a little bit of power in his own destiny here. So we didn't really get into that. Do you foresee a world in which Bradley Beal would be like, you know what? Yeah, I will go to Miami.
Yeah, I think he's got a great situation in Phoenix right here, and for whatever reason, I don't think it's panned out. But I do like, on paper, it sounds great, right? Because Bradley Beal is a great shooter; he can stretch the floor. It doesn't really allow those guys to blitz and double team KD and Book in 2-man games. But on the flip side, Jimmy also provides them something that Bradley Beal doesn't: is that defense, that toughness, all the little things. So it's all a matter of fit. I think both of them, can make it work with Book and with KD. And I think this is just such a small sample size because they've been so banged up and injured. They've only played, not that many games together as that big 3. So I think it's a little premature, and I don't know how much better they get with Jimmy Butler versus Bradley Beal. If it was me, I would let it ride, and I would look for other ways to kind of deepen my roster. But Jimmy Butler's a hell of a player, and if you can get a Jimmy Butler, usually you go and make that work. I just don't know if it's been enough time for me to pull the trigger on this trade yet, especially knowing Bradley Beal. I think it's him and LeBron are the only two with no trade clauses. So the guy that it would be for has to say okay to it anyway. So it's an interesting rumor.
It's a very high-profile one. Lou, Zach LaVine, it's never too early to start those rumors, but Nuggets were also another one of the teams that have sort of been calling around, putting feelers out for what they may or may not be interested in. Is it finally the year in which Zach LaVine leaves Chicago?
It should be, man. Give him an opportunity to win and flourish in his career. Obviously, this group doesn't work. They got DeMar DeRozan out of there, gave him an opportunity to win. It hadn't panned out as perfectly as he would like in Sacramento, but they at least gave him the opportunity to go out there and figure it out. They got to do the same thing for Zach LaVine. He's been there. He's been a pro. He hadn't made any waves in the media. He hadn't said anything distasteful towards the Chicago Bulls. Give him an opportunity to go out there and flourish. get a fresh start, have an opportunity to continue his career and see what he can build, So I'm in on the fact that they can finally do this. Hopefully they find a trade partner where it works for both sides and they can get him out of there, give him a chance to continue to go.
Yeah, Lakers, do it. Do it. You have a 25-point scorer that's shooting 50% from the field and 43% from the three. This is exactly what you need. You need a guy that can space the floor, that can knock down, that can create his own shot. This is exactly what they need. You can get off of D'Angelo Russell. You can get off maybe one of the younger assets, a pick, whatever, Rui, anybody. But yeah, I think this is a perfect fit to max. We always talk about maximizing, Jokic, maximizing Steph Curry. It's a smaller window to maximize LeBron James and Anthony Davis right now playing together at an elite level. So yes, I would do this. The Bulls have been in this position for, 5 years.
Ever?
Like, let it rip and send them to the Lakers.
So we got the Lakers, not the Nuggets, though. Interesting.
I like the Nuggets, though. Personally, I like the Nuggets. I think that'll be a better fit if the Brandon Ingram thing doesn't go through. But I think the way that the Nuggets play their three-point shooting team as well, I think Zach LaVine, he strives in that system.
It feels like the viewing public feels like Jokic's prime is kind of being wasted at the moment. So that's where I'm thinking all this Nuggets trade talk is coming from. I mean, look, I can only just go from what I hear. Guys?
Just I think we know right now, as is, the Nuggets probably aren't going to win a championship, so they need to do something.
Yeah, so something's got to change, and we all want to see him. I mean, I want to see him be great. Man, we did it. How y'all feeling?
It's a tough one today, I ain't gonna lie. But we did
Happy to be out of Vegas and back home.
I'm going to bed
get some sleep
in about
today,
8
guys.
seconds.
Let's get some rest.
Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, and run it back, run it up.